I call this meeting to order. For all that care to, please stand for an opening prayer and our Pledge of Allegiance. Let us pray. We come before you today with grateful hearts, thankful for the opportunity to serve the people of Republic. We ask for your guidance and wisdom as we make decisions that affect our community. Please grant us clarity, unity, and integrity in all that we do. Help us to lead with compassion, humility, and a spirit of cooperation. In your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So good evening, everyone. And this evening, we'll start off with our citizens' participation. This is an opportunity for citizens to speak directly to City Council on matters that are not listed on tonight's agenda. Do I have anyone in the audience this evening here for citizens' participation? Okay, seeing that there is none, we will close citizens' participation. Moving on to our consent agenda, I welcome the City Council to ask any questions or comments about item number 1 on our agenda. Okay, seeing that there is none, I need a motion and a second for approval of our consent agenda.
Motion, second.
I've got a motion from Harder and a second from Neal. All those in favor?
Aye.
All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions?
Abstain.
Motion carries 6-0-1. Moving on to board, commission, and committee schedule. Our Board of Adjustment meeting that was on September the 3rd, 2026 has been canceled. We have a planning and zoning meeting on September the 14th, 2026. City Council meeting on September the 15th, 2026 has been canceled. And we have a City Council meeting upcoming on September the 22nd, 2026. At this time, we'll move on to public hearings. We have a public hearing of the City Council regarding setting the 2026 property tax levies for the City of Republic, Missouri. We will open the public hearing. If you would like to speak, please come forward and state your name and address for the public record, and you will have 3 minutes to address the City Council. Okay, seeing that there is none, we will close the public hearing at this time, and we will move on to old business and tabled items. Item number 3, I need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill 26-22 by title only, please.
Second.
Got a motion from Harder and a second from Shaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Laura, read the ordinance by title, please.
An ordinance of the City Council establishing the procedure for disclosing potential conflicts of interest and substantial interest for certain officials.
Thank you, Laura. Does City Council have any questions or comments, discussion before moving forward? Okay. Seeing that there is none, I need a motion and a second for the final passage of Bill 26-22, please. Got a motion from Harder, a second from Updike. Now going to take a roll call vote on our computers, please.
Councilmember Updike?
Motion carries 7-0-0. Moving on to item number 4. I need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill 26-24 by title only, please.
Second.
Got a motion by Harder and a second by Neal. All of those in favor?
Aye.
All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Laura will read the ordinance by title, please.
An ordinance of the City Council approving amending the zoning classification of approximately 1 acre of real property located at 210 Southampton Avenue from local commercial C1 to general commercial C2.
Okay, and just so council is aware, due to the cancellation of the August 4th meeting, we do need to amend this ordinance to correct the second reading date. And so I will need a motion to amend Bill 26-24 by changing the date in the final whereas clause from August the 4th, 2026 to August 25th, 2026. Do I need a motion in a second? Okay, I have a motion to amend. Can I get a second? Second from Neal. Motion to amend from Harder, second from Neal. All of those in favor? Aye. All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. We are now amended. Does council have any questions or discussions before moving forward? Okay, seeing that there is none, we will move on to final passage. I now need a motion and a second for the final passage of Bill 26-24 as amended, please. Got a motion from Harder, a second from Neal. We're now going to take a roll call vote.
Councilmember Gerke?
Aye.
Councilmember Updike?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0-0. Moving on to new business and first reading of ordinances. Item number 5. I need a motion and a second for the first reading of Bill 26-25 by title only, please.
Motion. Second.
Got a motion from Harder, a second from Neal. All of those in favor?
Aye.
All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Laura will read the ordinance by title, please.
An ordinance of the City Council setting the 2026 property tax levies for the City of Republic, Missouri.
Thank you, Laura. And we've got Mr. Ford here this evening to give us an overview.
Good evening, Bob Ford, Chief Financial Officer. Just waiting for this PowerPoint to come up. I'll remind you that we spent quite a bit of time during our workshop going through the methodology for calculating property tax levies. We won't repeat that discussion during this session. Really, I'll spend a little time just hitting the high points. As you'll recall, the City of Republic assesses taxes on real property but not personal property, and has 3 property tax levies: a general operating property tax levy, Parks and Rec, and also the Streets Fund, specifically for street lights. The Missouri Constitution allows the city to revise its levy to allow for inflationary assessment growth during the year occurring within the city. However, that inflationary growth is limited to the assessed growth exclusive or eliminating the new construction and newly added territories. So specifically, we're trying to compare a basket of real property that occurred in 25, that existed in 25, to the same basket that exists in 26. Once we've identified that, the permitted growth rate is the smaller of the actual percentage increase, and if it's a negative number, we assume 0. The consumer price index, which for this year is 2.7% or 5%. So as we said earlier, the maximum we'll ever see is a 5% growth, because that is the cap. The least we'll ever see is 0%. But additionally, the city can tax new construction and improvements. We can't use them in the calculation of the rate, but once the rate has been identified, we can apply that rate to that new construction. So given that, the permitted growth rate is the smaller of the actual growth rate in assessed value for 26, which is actually a decrease of 1.8154%. So we'll assume 0 for that growth rate. The consumer price index was 2.7%. That was provided by the state auditor, or 5% is the cap. As a result, 0% increase is the amount that we can apply to that common real property that existed in 25 to 26. And in applying the methodology that we went through during the workshop, you'll look on the right-hand column, under the column 26, the general operating tax levy is proposed to be 0.4059 per $100 of assessed value, Parks and Rec at 0.1094, and streets at 0.0624 for total tax levy for the city of 0.5777. So if you compare that to last year of 0.5672, once again, if you recall, because we've had a decrease in the value, in the assessed valuation, in order to generate the same amount of revenue on that basket of real property that existed in 25 and 26, if the assessed value goes down slightly, then the rate has to go up slightly, which is why we see that increase in the rate year over year. If you apply those new tax rates or proposed tax rates to the assessed valuation for 26, you'll see below that the general operating revenue expected is $1.8 million, $487,000 for parks, and $278,000 for streets, for a total of $2.575908. The two counties that do the processing for us charge us a fee, we'll deduct that fee, so we expect to see about $2.5 million in property tax revenue related to the 26 tax levies, which will cash flow in 27. And staff is recommending approval, please.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Does City Council have any questions? Okay. Doesn't look like we have any questions. We must have done an excellent job in the workshop earlier. But yeah, something we've been talking about most of this evening, so it doesn't seem to be short. We have a workshop earlier that everyone can go back and watch as well for
Absolutely.
any additional answers. So if we have no additional questions from City Council for Mr. Ford. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ford. So, pursuant to 3.10F of the Charter, staff is requesting for a second reading of this ordinance during tonight's meeting. I need a motion and a second to approve the second reading of Bill 26-25 to be held during tonight's meeting. I've got a motion from Harder and a second from Mr. Wilson. All of those in favor? Aye. All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Item number 6. I need a motion and a second for the first reading of Bill 26-26 by title only, please.
Motion. Second.
Got a motion from Shaw and a second from Neal. All of those in favor? Aye. All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Laurel, read the ordinance by title, please.
An ordinance of the City Council approving the final plat of Harper Ridge Phase 4 subdivision.
Thank you, Laura. And we've got Mr. Tabor here this evening to give us an overview.
Good evening. Chris Tabor, Principal Planner. The City of Republic received an application from Bester Properties, LLC for the final plat of Harper Ridge Phase 4 located at the northern edge of the city limits along Main Street. This site was previously approved as part of the preliminary plat of Emerald Valley Phase 2 on October 26, 2021. The final plat of Harper Ridge Phase 4 will legally divide approximately city single-family residential lots. The final plat will also convey the dedication of associated right-of-way, utility, stormwater easements, and other easements to the city. Included in the subdivision are approximately 3,036 feet of new street, 2,106 feet of new water main, and 2,422 feet of new gravity sewer main. The final plat of Harper Ridge Phase 4 conforms to the preliminary plat of Emerald Valley Phase 2 as approved by the city previously on October 26, 21. The final plat also conforms to the requirements of the City Code Chapter 410 subdivision regulations and Article 5 major subdivision final plat. Staff is recommending approval of this final plat.
Thank you, Mr. Tabor. Do we have any questions from City Council? Okay. Seeing that there is none, and pursuant to 3.10F of the Charter, staff is requesting a second reading of this ordinance during tonight's meeting. I need a motion and a second to approve a second reading of Bill 26-26 to be held during tonight's meeting. Got a motion from Updike and a second from Neal. All of those in favor? Aye. All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Moving on to item number 7. I need a motion and a second for the first reading of Bill 26-27 by title only, please.
Motion. Second.
Got a motion from Updike and a second from Neal. All of those in favor?
Aye.
All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Laura will read the ordinance by title, please.
An ordinance of the City Council approving the final plat of Kirkwood subdivision.
Thank you, Laura. And we've got Mr. Tabor to give us an overview.
Good evening again. The City of Republic has received an application from Kyle Kirk for the final plat of Kirkwood subdivision located at 7295 West Farm Road 170. The site was previously approved as Kirkwood Estates Plan Development District on November 5th, 2024. The final plat of Kirkwood subdivision will legally divide approximately 29.01 acres of land into 64 total lots. Lot 1 through 6 are commercial, while the remainder are single-family residential. The final plat will convey the dedication of associated right-of-way, utility, and stormwater easements to the city. The final plat includes approximately 7,381 linear feet of new street, 3,982 linear feet of new water main, and 3,536 linear feet of new gravity sewer main. In addition, the final plat includes a new connection by Bailey Avenue to US 60. None of the lots will have direct access onto US 60 or to Farm Road 170, and no residential lots will have access to Bailey Avenue. City staff has reviewed the final plat and has determined that it substantially conforms to the requirements of the approved development plan in addition to the requirements of City Code Chapter 410, subdivision regulations, and Article 5, major subdivision final plat. Staff is recommending approval.
Thank you, Mr. Tabor. Does City Council have any questions before moving forward? Okay, seeing that there is none, and pursuant to 3.10F of the Charter, staff is requesting a second reading of this ordinance during tonight's meeting. So I will need a motion and a second to approve the second reading of Bill 26-27 to be held during tonight's meeting. I've got, who was first on that second? Motion from Updike and a second from Neal. All those in favor? Aye. All of those opposed? Were there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Moving on to item number 8. I need a motion and a second for the first reading of Bill 26-28 by title only, please.
Motion. Second.
A motion from Shaw and a second from Neal. All of those in favor?
Aye.
All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Laura will read the ordinance by title, please.
An ordinance of the City Council amending City Code 130.040 to provide a minimum 2-year municipal judge term, approving and authorizing the reappointment of David Duran, and approving an agreement for reappointment, renewal, and amendment.
Thank you, Laura. And we've got Mr. Rogers here to give us an overview this evening.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Justin Rogers, City Attorney. State law specifically requires that each municipal judge be appointed for a term of at least 2 years. However, our city code provides for only a 1-year term for municipal judges, so the purpose of this ordinance is twofold. It's one, it's to correct the code to allow for a 2-year municipal judge term, and it also authorizes the mayor to reappoint municipal judge David Doran and designate him as the presiding municipal court judge for an additional 2-year term.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Does city council have any questions? Comments, concerns? Okay, seeing that there are no questions, and pursuant to 3.10F of the charter, staff is requesting a second reading of this ordinance during tonight's meeting. So I will need a motion and a second to approve the second reading of Bill 26-28 to be held during tonight's meeting. Got a motion from Neal and a second from Updike. All of those in favor? Aye. All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Moving on to new business and second reading of ordinances. Item number 9. I need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill 26-25 by title only, please.
Motion. Second.
Got a motion from Neal and a second from Updike. All of those in favor?
Aye.
All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Laura will read the ordinance by title, please.
An ordinance of the City Council setting the 2026 property tax levies for the City of Republic, Missouri.
Thank you, Laura. Does City Council have any questions, comments, discussion before moving forward? Okay. We will move on to final passage. I now need a motion and a second for the final passage of Bill 26-25, please. Got a motion from Shaw, a second from Neal. We're now going to take a roll call vote on our computers. Motion carries 7-0-0. Moving on to item number 10. I now need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill 26-26 by title only, please.
Motion.
Got a motion from Neal and a second from, was it Mr. Updike? From Mr. Updike. All of those in favor?
Aye.
All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Laura will read the ordinance by title, please.
An ordinance of the City Council approving the final plat of Harbor Ridge Phase 4 subdivision.
Thank you, Laura. Does City Council have any questions or discussion before moving forward? Seeing that there is none, we will move on to final passage. I now need a motion and a second for final passage of Bill 26-26, please.
Motion. Second.
Got a motion from Councilmember Updike and a second from Councilmember Neal. We're now going to take a roll call vote on our computers, please.
Councilmember Updike?
Motion carries 7-0-0. Moving on to item number 11. I need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill 26-27 by title only, please.
Second.
Got a motion by Shaw and a second from Councilmember Neal. All of those in favor?
Aye.
All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Laura will read the ordinance by title, please.
An ordinance of the City Council approving the final plat of Kirkwood subdivision.
Thank you, Laura. And does City Council have any questions, discussion before moving forward? Okay, seeing that there is none, we will move on to final passage. I now need a motion and a second for the final passage of Bill 26-27, please.
Motion. Second.
Got a motion from Updike and a second from Neal. We're now going to take a roll call vote on our computers.
Councilmember Updike?
Motion carries 7-0-0. Moving on to item number 12. I now need a motion and a second for the second reading of Bill 26-28 by title only, please.
Motion. Second.
Got a motion by Councilmember Neal and a second by Councilmember Updike. All of those in favor?
Aye.
All of those opposed? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0-0. Laura will read the ordinance by title, please.
An ordinance of the City Council amending City Code 130.040 to provide a minimum 2-year municipal judge term, approving and authorizing the reappointment of David Doran, and approving an agreement for reappointment, renewal, and amendment.
Thank you, Laura. Does City Council have any questions, discussion before moving forward? Seeing that there is none, we will move on to final passage. I now need a motion and a second for final passage of Bill 26-28, please.
Motion. Second.
Got a motion by Councilmember Shaw and a second by Councilmember Neal. We're now going to take a roll call vote on our computers, please.
Councilmember Updike?
Motion carries 7-0-0. And there is no other business or resolutions. It was a little hefty agenda, but I guess we'll move on to reports from staff. Miss Addington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Happy to be here filling in for Colton, who is on a much-deserved break. So first of all, I want to give a couple of updates on the city's priorities. That's been kind of the source of discussion for many, many years, is finally going to come into commission. The ribbon cutting will be set for the end of October. I know there have been many discussions and workshops over the years leading up to this, and we are so grateful that we will be treating millions of gallons a day responsibly and in compliance over the next 20 years. The new website project is continuing to make progress, and the new launch is tentatively scheduled for the end of the year. Our other city software solutions, currently another city priority, planning for full implementation by the end of the year. Budget season is in full swing, and councils should receive their budget packets in early October. Wanted to give an update on the MoDOT Project D. Emery Sapp & Sons successfully completed Phase 1 of the realignment project, reopening the upgraded signalized intersection at US Highway 60 and Stone Creek Drive on Friday. We're appreciative to ESS for revising the project schedule to ensure the intersection would be fully open and operational ahead of the first day of school, which was today. And this is the first major completed milestone associated with the realignment project, slated for completion May of 2028. Congrats to Parks on another mud run. I was informed over 800 participants. I also want to thank all of the staff, departments, emergency personnel, and volunteers that make this event successful, and it is a nationwide event. It's pretty impressive. And last but certainly not least, I was made aware today that our employee, Nick Board, who is here tonight, the Springfield Tech Council awards a Rising Star in Technology Award, and Nick is one of 4 finalists to receive this. So Nick is our data services manager, and he also presented at council earlier this year, if you'll recall, regarding all of the incredible work he does. So this Rising Star Award will be presented September 25th. But also just to say, Nick, you're an outstanding employee, and we are so grateful to have you. Not only does he do a tremendous job for us, but you're just a fantastic individual. So huge shout out to you for all your accomplishments that you've done so far and will continue to do. So with that, that concludes my report.
There we go. I've got my mic on now. Thank you, Miss Addington. Would you mind waving at the council so that we can remember who you are? Just so everyone can say, congratulations, Nick. Wonderful being on Rising Star, so congratulations to you. Do we have anyone on City Council that has anything to report for this evening? Okay, seeing that there is none, I'm going to go through this pretty quick. I've got a lot to talk about. It seems like this has been a very busy month in the mayor's office. I just wanted to say thanks to everyone at that Roar Expo. I made it out of the dunk tank alive, barely, even that last gasp of air, I was having a fun time. So everyone that came out there, that was such a fun time. Colton got to spend a little time in there too. So I know I've got to see some video of everything. It was just such a great time being out there with everyone and having that opportunity that the chamber gave to us. And just so grateful to see everyone out there that did have a chance to make it. And so especially Colton, couldn't give him a hard time now, but we can give him a hard time when he comes back for sure. So, but yeah, the chamber meeting recently that we had, just another great place to have information, connect with people throughout our community. There's always so much happening here in Republic, and so making it to these meetings is a chance to hear those stories behind our businesses, those organizations, and all of the people that help make our community such a wonderful place. We had a wonderful opportunity in helping to recognize Emergency Management Awareness Month here in August. I guess we are still in August with Greene County Commissioners and visiting the Emergency Operations Center. It was fascinating to see the people and the systems that were working behind the scenes. I know anyone that ever wants to learn more about that, just let me know or let someone down there know that they would love to share all of that with us as elected officials and with the public as well. They're always very willing to share what they do on our behalf on keeping us safe in those emergency situations. And we had a little bit of a prequel to that at our Greene County Mayor's Association meeting as we met in Battlefield. And we had Nicolette Zangara from Greene County Emergency Management came out and shared a lot of things with us on communications and different things that they do in Greene County for us and the different ways that they support us here in Republic. And so it was wonderful to have that message and to have that our officials there together on supporting that message and with our emergency management. Another great opportunity we had last week was over at the Wilsons Creek Legacy, over at Wilsons Creek Battlefield. And it's just such a wonderful place out there at the battlefield. Every time I go out there, I learn a little bit more about the battlefield, and I'm a little bit more appreciative. And so if anyone in Republic ever wants to know a little bit more about Wilsons Creek National Battlefield and the significance that the residents of Republic played on making sure that this is a national battlefield that it's preserved in our backyard, there was a lot of citizens in Republic that were very instrumental in making this happen. And so it has a wonderful history, and it's just such a wonderful thing to have in our backyard, within walking distance. And so anyone that wants to learn more about that or the foundation, please talk with me. It's a wonderful place to go. I know even one of our council members goes there quite often. So just grateful for all those opportunities. I know they had a lot of other things going on that weekend, but yeah, it's just a great thing, you know, and that right in our backyard too. So wonderful to have that. OTC had an open house, it was either last week or the week before. It's just another great reminder of those educational opportunities that we have available right here in our area in Republic. Whether you're working on your GED or you're furthering your education, there's so many wonderful opportunities that the OTC has to offer for us over there. James gave me some great information, a little bit of inspiration as well for anyone that knows Mr. Barwick. It was a great night. Hanging out there and learning more about them, as well as getting a tour from Cynthia to see that building and see everything that's in there. So if anyone ever wants to know a little bit more about what they have to offer, especially for our constituents here in Republic, call up there and ask for a tour. They would love to give you one, and there's so much to share, so much. I had a lot of questions, and they were very helpful in answering so many of my questions. Of course, it's been very hot, and I do want to make mention of that. I'm very appreciative of everyone that's been working through all of this extreme heat, whether it's been our road crews, whether your utilities, police department, fire department, parks and recs department, even if it's got mud run. You know, this heat can be so many different challenges, and I'm so thankful for everyone that's looking out for one another, and hopefully we can continue to do that. Get through this summer, get on to fall, get to pumpkin days, and relax a little bit, kind of that fall weather. Maybe some pumpkin spice for some people, but the Salvation Army had a wonderful topping off and beam setting ceremony. It was last week, so we were invited out to celebrate with the Salvation Army. A lot of our regional partners, I know Mayor Don Currence was there, as well as a former mayor of Springfield was there as well, and former Mayor McClure. It's always such a great time. The Salvation Army does a lot for citizens here in Greene County and in Christian County as well. And so another great organization. We just had a chance to go out and support them on this new project that they've got going with the Harbor House. And it's just such a wonderful thing to have more opportunity for help for people in our area that need it. So it was great being out there with the Salvation Army. Of course, I want to mention Got Mud Run. You know, that's always a wonderful opportunity for everyone, and as Lisa said, a national opportunity. So many different people I get to hear from that in the last month that have been talking about that, and it's just whether it could be a doctor's visit. Someone's excited about the Mud Run, and so it's really cool to hear all the little different circles that aren't even really here in Republic that are excited about that too. So yeah, thankful for all the hard work and our first responders and keeping everyone out there safe and giving that great opportunity for everyone. I also wanted to remind everyone about our sidewalk survey that we've got going on, especially to the citizens. It's really hard to tell what's going on in the minds of 20,000 citizens, but the more of them that we have filling out these surveys, the better idea we have. So if we've got citizens out there and if we can encourage them to fill out these surveys and help us as we get along through our ADA transition plan, it would be gratefully appreciated. Lisa had mentioned about it. Thankfully, the first part of our 60 project there going up M is open. I know that's going to help things move a little bit better through there. It's been a lot of frustration, so I'm very thankful for everyone that's given us the patience on getting to that point. First day of school was today, so wishing all the students a productive new year here in Tigertown, and thank you to everyone again for the patience. Getting back to that schedule as kids are going to school in the morning and we get used to them being back around on the street and then going home, of course. So we've got a food drive going on right now as well, so I wanted to say I appreciate everyone that's been participating in that food drive, everyone that's been working on collecting those. The boxes right outside here as well. I know there's several places on the City of Republic's website that are listed as drop locations, so very thankful for everyone that is donating, and of course Ozarks Food Harvest, who always does a great job of looking out for those in our community. There is a lot going on in Republic. The only other thing I wanted to mention was on September the 17th, we've got our OTO board meeting, and that agenda is normally posted about a week before that meeting. Other than that, that's all I have for tonight. We do have an executive session this evening, so we'll have a short break before going into executive session this evening. Other than that, thank you very much for being here this evening. Everyone, please have a safe trip home. This meeting is adjourned. I'm going to pause for just a second and hold off on closing this meeting. We do need to vote to go into executive session, so we need a vote from City Council before going into executive session. The mayor did not follow the last piece of his puzzle. Tonight, we will be going into closed session under RSMO 610.021.1, pending and/or potential litigation. Closed session, closed vote, closed record. I now need a motion and a second to go into closed session.
Second.
I've got a motion from Councilmember Harder and a second from Councilmember Neal. We are now going to take a roll call vote.
Councilmember Shaw. Councilmember Wilson. Councilmember Updike. Councilmember Neal. Councilmember Gerke. Councilmember Harder. Councilmember Fields.
Motion carries 7-0-0. This meeting is now adjourned.